Transform your body with SA's most trusted body sculpting aid, USN Fedracut XT, clinically proven for effective weight control. USN, all about results.
Today we're meeting one of South Africa's foremost cyclists, Malcolm Lange, for an exclusive peek into the preparation and planning that precedes a big race day.
You are viewed as South Africa's most successful cyclist. Where did it all start for you?
Probably way back 24, 25 years odd. I was probably around 13 years of age. Really took out my brother's bike, which was way too big for me, and joined a recreational club, and from then on it just grew and was in the Olympics in 1992. That was probably the big launch pad into my career.
Looking back over the years, what were some of your most memorable moments?
Probably being the Olympic Games, I think 92, when I was still in matric. That was a big highlight in my career, just to participate. And South Africa kind of was back in the cards of racing internationally. And then racing internationally for 4 or 5 years with the top pros around the world. And then on the local scene, winning the August, winning 94.7 and making a mark on the local calendar.
Malcolm has racked up over 400 major race victories in his 17-year career. There's virtually no top local race he hasn't won. Today he's a pro cycling team owner.
Your main focus though lies with your team, Team Bonitas. Where did the team start?
Well, it started 3 years ago. And we're 10 riders at the moment. We're a continental team, which means we're registered internationally. So we have done some big races internationally already, but just really trying to grow the team and get them on the map.
And what role does USN play within the team to help you achieve these results?
Well, I mean, that's probably the most important part. I mean, it's what you're putting into your body is what's going to get you through most of those big, long, strenuous races. And I think, you know, with all the scientific formulas that's been put into it and the research, I think we're really the people that are showing the results. I mean, we've had fantastic results, and through USN, you know, they've backed us with a lot of product. And believe me, when you've got 10 riders, bottles need to be made and you're riding 200k stages, we're going through a lot of product.
The incredible intensity of this endurance sport requires that cyclists consume massive amounts of calories, carbs and healthy fats, making quality nutritional supplementation essential.
Now, Joburg's biggest one-day cycling race is kicking off this weekend. What does a typical week in terms of preparation look like for a pro athlete up until race day?
So the guys are really on taper off stage. I would say for the last 2 weeks it's really been a few quality sprints and a bit of efforts, but there's not really hard training that goes into it. Remember, they've got probably 30,000 kilometers in their legs from racing through the years. An amateur cyclist will be going out there and you know, basically trying to still keep on the saddle. Probably if they haven't ridden enough, making sure that their bums aren't hurting too much. You know, so there's a vast difference between a recreational cyclist and a pro athlete.
But with so much mileage behind the guys, how would it play out on race day?
We'll sit down and strategize and see who's the guy on the day who can pull it off, work out the finish, because it's quite a tricky technical finish with a sharp turn just before the finish. So there's a lot of those things that get factored in to actually going into the day on how we're going to pull it off.
Competitive cyclists train in both sprinting and climbing. They also need to build a strong physiological profile because it takes great determination and focus to finish among the top riders.
Let's talk a bit about supplements, Malcolm. What is it that your team like to use before, during and after a race to ensure success?
A lot of the riders are using BCA Vitago, which is a product which we use before and after the event. A lot of the riders are using Epic Pro as well, so we kind of have to have a cooler box which kind of separates which guy and what they actually need.
Gareth, Malcolm told us about some products that his team like to use, but from your side, tell us a bit more about them.
BCA Vitago makes sure through the branched chain amino acid complex that you enhance your muscle tissue protection and recovery. And the Vitago, being a very, very complex carbohydrate, but it's absorbed quicker than table sugar. So it gives you the energy you need right now, but it's also sustained time release.
Who can use BCA Vitago?
It's ideal for either the gym environment. It's perfect if you're doing heavy repetitions, long training sessions in the gym, but it can be used with recreational riders and pros alike.
And how would you use it during a race, let's say this weekend's race?
I would recommend that you're going to take one serving at least an hour before your ride, and then you're going to carry at least 2 water bottles, and you're going to continually sip. Every 15 to 20 minutes you'll have a sip, and you'll try and follow up with some water or combine it with Vuma gels, which is a great alternative to it as well.
And is there anything else you can recommend in terms of supplementation for the pro athletes?
Start with your VO2 max loading phase. Start getting those carbohydrates in. Make sure that your diet is rich with low GI complex carbohydrates, and then also supplement extra with enduro carbs, making sure you're getting that glycogen loading happening.
Unfortunately, cycling has been tainted as a sport full of cheating with regards to prohibited substances. Now, how can a professional athlete minimize his risk when going out and buying supplements?
Well, fortunately, we've had USN that's actually taken the products to a laboratory in Cambridge in the UK, where they've been tested to make sure that they are basically rid of any forbidden substances, and I think it's a step forward.
HFL Sports Science is one of the world's premier independent drug surveillance laboratories, providing trusted expertise in all aspects of doping control for sports.
Just leave us with some advice for pro athletes and also your average guys cycling this weekend.
Well, I think the biggest thing now, because it's so close to the actual event, I think don't change anything. And just make sure you're prepared. Make sure that your bike's ready, or it's in working order. The last thing you want is to get to the race and you've got a flat tyre or your chain breaks. Just make sure that it's ready to go.
Can older or veteran riders be as competitive as the younger ones? Tune in again tomorrow to meet more top cyclists. In the meantime, visit usn.co.za.
Stay with eXpresso and SABC3.